Good.
Hold on, you was muted.
Oh,
Now you're okay.
good evening, everyone.
Hola. You got your phone?
Of course, yeah, I do have my phone.
I
Let
don't know
me
why I
pull up
said
the-
I could pull it up too.
I don't know either.
I just got my football.
Baby.
That's all. Oh, you got the announcements there? You need to slide to the camera a little bit more, I think.
Okay, I'll slide into the camera.
What's up, people? It's Tuesday night. We back at it. Tuesday. Why I think I keep saying Tuesday. I'm glad it's not Tuesday.
He's still in his Tuesday Tuesday night talks.
I'm glad it's not Tuesday. Saturday. Thank God it's Saturday.
Saturday. Oh yeah,
I need it to be Friday.
Friday. I need it to be winter break.
That's it right there. Ain't no lies told there.
Ain't no lies there. Good evening.
No lies told there.
On. Let me see. I'm just trying to share this.
Are you sharing it? Nice.
Yeah, I'm sharing it.
All right, let me see if I got any comments yet. I don't think I do.
Commentos. I don't see any yet on my
because I got on Facebook and YouTube, so.
Oh, that's interesting. It don't usually be on YouTube.
I always
use YouTube. On YouTube? It's on your page?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My Desmond, it's actually on my Apostle Desmond Wiggins.
Oh, Lord.
That's fine. I always put it on there.
That's funny.
Because, I always put it on there.
What it's for is just funny.
Yeah, I know, but I always put it on there. All right. So it's Saturday. We are, like I said, we staying committed to our Saturday Night Live talks, even with the college conference championships on.
And bless the Lord.
I know, bless him. But we here, we live, and we here.
We heard.
I've just gotten started with a new wrestling season. Practices and all that kind of stuff like that. It's nonstop. So that's it. What's going on in your life?
Spa, spa, children, all that kind of stuff. Working on some things for that.
Yeah, y'all.
That planning for next year. I'm sure everybody's in that mood.
No doubt.
Planning for not just next year, but planning for what's ahead of us.
Definitely. Well, I got a unique situation come tomorrow. I was telling my wife here, I'm gonna let my daughter go try out for a club team for soccer. I'm bringing this up for a reason.
Okay.
After church. So, and she talked about how scared she was. Right.
Let me turn this down because I can't.
Yeah, turn it down. But I think it's important. I was telling her, like, listen, your goals and what you want to do, you can't be scared of that. Like, you got to go out and do what you're supposed to do. Which will but I think it's important to go out and achieve your goals. She has some goals, but I think she doesn't know how to get there. And this is one of the things that's going to make her have to get there, even though she thinks like, I just want to stay in my own bubble and do what I'm doing. Like, that ain't gonna get you where you're trying to get to. As much as you talk about soccer, my daughter's in 7th grade, and as much what she wants to do in soccer. So I'm like, yo, you gotta go try for this club team. It's a big time club team. But the reason why I'm doing it is I don't know if she's gonna make the team or not. And if she does it, then now she understands like what level you need to start getting to compared to what you think you're doing. Like there's another notch, there's another level, and that's what I'm trying to expose her to another level, if that makes sense. But you got any announcements for us? You want to talk about announcements there?
Okay, so we do have our marriage, winning marriage 2025 coming up in June. I believe it's June 28th to July. Let me see. Hold on, I had to pause for a second. I want to make sure I'm the right date.
Yeah, I'm looking at something, y'all. Y'all pray for me. Go ahead. What's the dates?
It's June 28th to July 2nd.
That's what we're doing?
Okay. That's where we have, yes, currently.
No, we're going to change that date.
Okay, well, that was the date. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Organization and planning.
We're going to change that date. We're going to change that date. We're going to move it up in June, but we're going to change that date. But go ahead.
This has been up for a while.
It has been up for a while. You're right.
But
go ahead, just get pricing so people can prepare.
Okay, the pricing. So right now, if you jump in now, you'll basically be for our basic package, which is the beginner bliss package. It is right now $20 a day. So it is really achievable. And by the time you get to June, you will be excited that you're going to have a good time, going to be in a nice place. I always try to let people know, like, to kind of, pay as you go. It's better to kind of start off, I'm giving this, if it's $100, because it's like 100 and something, I think, a week or something like that. So it's best to get in early so that when you're, when the time gets closer, you're not like, oh my gosh, I got to pay all this, but just actually taking this. Okay, I'm taking this amount this day. And if you got to pay it, we do have payment plans, and we do have where it can come automatically out. Whether it be daily, weekly, monthly, you do need to email Des and Wiggins at gmail.com. I'll put it in the comments once we come out of here. Actually, I'll put it in the comments in a few minutes. If you would like to get on that payment plan so that you can lock in now as $20 a day. That's for the basic one. So that's just like 5 of the restaurants, and I believe it's 5 nights. 5 days and 4 nights.
Yeah, okay.
We do have, if you wanted to shorten it, which would, of course, make it more affordable if you did want to shorten your time. That's also an option, but we would need to know that so that we could plan accordingly if you wanted to do 3 days and 4 nights, okay? But we had a good time and we wasn't ready to leave, so we want to do, we added another.
That's what we did, 4 days and 3 nights.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So we added another day and night to it so that we can enjoy. We do have upgrades. So if we have if you want a jacuzzi, if you want swim outs, but of course we need to know early enough so that we can make sure that we get those particular rooms for you, because they will be based on what's available at the time. Okay. And then we have platinum and the ultimate experience. So if you need more information about that, it is on desandya.com.
Yep.
So you can go to desandya.com. If that doesn't work for you, please feel free to go desandya.square.site, okay? Because sometimes it tries to act funny. I will put that in the comments as well so that you guys can go. You can take a look at it, so you can jump on it now while it's not a lot.
And don't wait till
the last minute
in April and be like, oh, I want to go. Like, nah, just start. Like, go.
I mean, if
email
you do,
us,
that's
go to
fine.
the website.
But it's just like you're gonna,
it's fun,
it's probably gonna be
and it's learning.
More. Yeah,
and you're gonna bond with your significant other. This is only for married folk. Again, only for married folk. Okay,
married.
We're not
married for 3 days, a month.
Yeah, it don't matter. If you just got
10
married,
years, whatever.
If you just got married, that's fine. But it's got to be married. I don't care if you're married for, like she said, 10 days. Or 10 years. It could be 30 days or 30 years. It don't matter. If you married, you can go. If you ain't married, this ain't that kind of trip. Hallelujah. We ain't. This is not. We can't condone on our behalf of going on a trip. You want to go on your own trip? Hey, I don't want to know nothing about it. But that's not our flow. All right.
Yeah, and we some of that, and we always have a good time. We like to have fun. So anybody that goes, and the couples that went last time, they did share that they loved how we did it. So it wasn't like overwhelming where you don't have time and you're at session. So we try to break everything up. We try to do different activities to try to make sure that you guys are bonding and spending time as well, and actually having talks. We are going to do something different this year where we will probably split up the men and the women. So we have a separate, we didn't do that last year, but we did have a good time. We didn't. Okay. We split up the men and the women. But we want to do that this year, but we're excited.
Yeah. We did aromatherapy. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
About that, but
yes, that was fun. Yes, so definitely go to the website. Let us, you can email us if you have any questions about it. You can actually, on the website, it has the option for you to do your deposit. It has the option for you to add a day. It has the option for you to pick which one you want to do. Okay, so there's different options. Okay, I'm sorry.
We 12 minutes in.
Okay, I apologize.
All right, so yeah, that was a lot. She was doing announcements like she was at church. Like, we just, come on, let's just move it on. All right, we
I didn't do them like
so go ahead, start your pre-talk.
Start your pre-talk. That's my pre-talk.
No, it's not. You had a pre-talk that we were going to talk about.
Child, that's going to be, like you said, that's a lot. Okay, so the pre-talk was.
We'll do this. We'll short this pre-talk in 10 minutes, unless we get in comments.
Yeah, I don't think it would be too.
Unless we get in comments, long. But go ahead.
So I was talking to. I don't know if she wants me to tell her or not. Tell her business, so I'm not going to say who.
Yeah, don't say
But I was talking to somebody today, and they were talking about just like different things regarding relationships and things of that nature. So they said to me that there's somebody on social media. I can't remember if it's Instagram, Facebook, whatever, but they call them like the Facebook or Instagram swindler or something like that. So it's this guy that basically gets women out of money. So the one that she was telling me about, she says like a whole bunch of different parts. But basically the one she was saying was the one time the girl, she goes to his house and he comes out with like a whole bunch of stuff in his hand, like computers and stuff like that. And she says to him, "Oh, I didn't know I was driving," because I guess he was supposed to be helping her with finding out and getting information about a Airbnb. So she said, "I didn't know I was driving because they were supposed to be going somewhere. I'm just trying to make it quicker then because it was a long." So he said, "Oh yeah, my car is in the shop getting fixed. They're changing the color of my Benz or whatever." So he said he needed to go to Best Buy. So he goes to Best Buy, and whatever happens, they're in there, and he asks her to get a credit card. So she gets a credit card and he runs it up like a couple $1,000s. I think she said like $2,000 or something like that.
Sheesh.
And then when he looked at it, he was like, America. "Oh, it's only $2,000." And he was like, "Oh, we can add more stuff." Like, I guess trying to max it out. My mind, I mean, there's more to it.
How long were they dating?
They just met.
See, the girl almost said something.
Child, the thing is, that is just like the tip of the, like, it's so much more to this. It's supposed to be 12 parts or whatever. But I'm like, that's just not parts. Yeah, that's just not possible. It's not possible for somebody to be that, because what happens is, so they do that. And then on top of that, he asked her for money. So he asked her for like $200 or whatever. He asked her for money, and she said she only could take $200 out of the ATM or whatever. So he was like, "Well, can't you change your limit?" So I guess he winds up giving her, she winds up giving him like the $200. And then another part, they go to a restaurant after he got the money, and he gets his plate, orders his food, all that stuff, and runs up the tab. And then he looked at her because I guess she looked mad or whatever. He's like, "Here, you need a drink because you look upset." He runs up the tab and then he walks out. And the guy was saying, "Oh, y'all got to pay." And he was like, "Yeah, she got it."
Wait, what do you mean he walked out? You said he walked out?
The boy was walking out to leave. The guy that was eating.
See, right there, she should have broke up with him.
No, she should have broke up with him when he showed up at the house with all this stuff talking about.
Oh, I thought that was after. I thought that was before. I thought the restaurant.
No, it was like all back to back, and I'm like, it's no way. Like, if you couldn't tell from the beginning, like something is not sitting, like, so it just makes you think, like, how far is too far? Like, are people really
just ain't got a mind
that trusting? So thinking about, even if we think about something simple. Let's just deal with, we'll start at point 1. We'll talk about point 2, point 3 in our beginning talks as we continue to go each time. This will be our pre-talk. So point 1, what is too far regarding a credit card? So say you met somebody, how long would you be dating them, or
Never.
Feel where you would feel comfortable to get a credit card for them if they asked you for a credit card or asked you to get a credit card?
Never. There's no dating and we getting credit cards together.
Oh, okay.
Never.
Like, I think some people do that. Well, what if you? Okay, so if when you're engaged, is that okay?
No. I mean, to me, like, credit cards are like affecting your credit.
Right.
Like, so for me, I'm just not engaging in any kind of credit card situation, like, ever. Like, never ever. That's to me, that is like, I could never do that. Like, if someone asks me, hey yo, we gonna do a credit card situation together, like, I'm not like, I'll do that for you.
But that's
what I'm saying. But that's my point. Yeah. I'm not like, we're in this together. Like, you can affect my credit. That can last for 7 years.
Right.
Right. And it's going to be already me taking it out is going to hit my score. So the reality is, I'm not doing that for anybody unless they live in this house.
I know people that have like co-signed or signed a
yeah, my mom done that.
For, I'm not saying your mom. I'm saying like when people are in relationships. Like, do you think that's okay? You think that's not okay? Like to co-sign for a car?
No.
I know people that have done it and they have not been married, but they've been in a relationship or they've been in a relationship for an extended amount of time, like a year or two, and they felt like it was okay to co-sign for a car or a house. I know people that have done both.
The only time
they were not married. And it was not like a mom or dad or a sister. This was like a relationship, like boyfriend and girlfriend.
The only way the co-signing for a car will make sense is unless that person, I guess, they are benefiting from the car too. Like, they don't have a car. And so they're like, okay, I'm going to need to drive around in this car too. Like, that's the only time that makes sense. But outside of that, I'm not like, for what? Like, what if something happens in like a month or two? Like, unless we are engaged, okay, I'll start. But then no, like, car. Like, what are we talking about?
Co-signing for a car,
credit card. Okay, if it's under $500?
Oh, so you would do a credit card
under $500? Under $500.
Okay.
I wouldn't do credit cards though either.
So what if you got the credit card, like somebody at where in this case the girl, they went to Best Buy and she got the credit card and he ran it up. First of all, I don't.
That's it. We're done. We're breaking up. And I'm gonna file like a stolen identity. You can't do it because
you was standing right there with them.
Nah, then we're returning all that stuff. Everything's getting returned.
She was standing there with him when he ran up her credit card.
No, everything's getting returned. Like, we don't see, that's just to me, that's just being gullible. Like, she's not, there's no too far is too far. She's just, I want to say a different word. I'm not allowed to say those words.
Yeah, don't say that.
No, I wasn't cussing. I ain't cussing.
Yeah, no, I wasn't saying that. But you said you wasn't supposed to say it, so I'm agreeing with you.
You're not allowed to say the word with an R anymore. Right, and I've always guarded myself.
I understand that, right.
With that. But it's just like, they got the sauce. They got the special sauce.
They got the special sauce.
They got the sauce, man.
What do they say? Resetting the room. So we were just talking about how far is too far as far as when you're in a relationship. What would be the length of time if someone asks you to get a credit card or to co-sign on a car or co-sign on a house?
This when you get a car right here.
Somebody else.
If you, my middle finger's not up. You got to have a ring on the finger. That's it.
I know people that were dating and did these things. And I know things that happened too. That was crazy because they did these things thinking, and the funny part about it was like a long relationship, like, like 5 years. I don't know if that would, because I mean, I guess after 5 years, some people might think that, we're probably going to be serious or something. So they might, I don't.
Hey, Katrina.
They might, hey, Katrina.
It makes
they might, be willing to sign for a credit card. I don't know.
No, it makes more sense.
Hey, Mom.
What's up, Mom?
Those special sauces.
What's up? Inside joke. It makes more sense when it makes more sense to get a joint bank account if you're gonna do anything with money that with somebody that you are engaged, because it doesn't matter. We can just shut the bank account down. Like if I'm putting money in there, you put money in there. We know how much money is there. We can split the money up, or just if it's not crazy
if they don't
amounts of
money.
Split
the money up. So I know this actually. Just
I'm saying
happened,
a credit card is on your credit. That's on my identity for the next 7 years. So like, I'm not doing that with you unless we got rings on fingers.
So I know somebody personally that they were married and they were saving all this money and put this money in the bank, and the wife went and took all the money out. And like had no type of you do. Had no type of you do. You do. You do. No, you do. You do put that on you. But yeah, no, but she went and she spent like I don't even think she gave an explanation until what she did with the money. But because of his situation, it was almost like he probably couldn't really say anything that would.
I don't know these people.
You do.
No, I don't.
Anything that would kind of, I guess, help the cause. So he kind of just let it go because of where he was.
I don't know these people. But anyways. She spent
all the money. It was like a couple. I think it was like, was it 20,000? I don't know.
But I don't know these folks.
Amount of money. You do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't know who you're talking about. But go ahead, keep going.
Yes, you do.
Okay, whatever. I guess I do. I don't.
You do. Okay. Why am I going to say you do it? You don't.
I don't. But it's all right. Go ahead. Keep going. Move on to something else.
I'm finished.
That's it. What's the other part? You ain't got no other parts?
No, we said we was going to do another part each time. That was the pre-talk. It was...
Good job.
12 minutes.
I'm proud of you. You ended it in 10 minutes time. Okay, I was hoping that you weren't going to keep going on.
Nope, that's why I stopped. So you can get to your conversation.
Okay, so here's our main. Yes, we didn't get to it last week. Okay, so here's the main conversation tonight. The main conversation tonight deals with someone who posted. I love it. Always comes back to social media, don't it? Social media. Or something in the news or something that's going on. Or it could be, our talks kind of deal more with relationship talk and also not just relationship, but also just life practicality, life talk, right? And someone put up, this is someone that I know of. I've never met them personally. They know of me. I know of them. Okay. But I don't know this person personally. And I won't say the person's name because I just won't. But they put up something that made me begin to think of just the interesting dynamic of the generation that we are in right now. Now, I saw something before I even get into this because it's going to make sense. I saw something. This is going to talk football for a second. I saw something the other day that Bill Belichick, the greatest football coach of all time, the greatest head football coach of all time, had conversations of taking over the North Carolina UNC, like a college football position, because he wants to coach again. He's not coaching in the NFL, hasn't gotten offered a job last year because he had 1 year off. Now he's hoping next year to get an NFL job, but he interviewed with North Carolina. And someone said on the show that they don't think that would work well for him to coach in North Carolina because it's a college program with this generation of kids, prima donna, the way they act. And it's not even just kids, y'all. It's adults too as well. But he was saying that wouldn't work well without professionals because these kids can't handle. And even though he's the greatest to do it, they can't handle it because of this generation. Now, I'm saying all that to prove my point, because that's crazy how you could be the greatest to do something, but there's a lot of people believe that it won't work well because this generation can't tolerate, even though he's the greatest. And they won't even respect him. Some of the kids won't even respect him. Like, it's wild because this generation, to a degree, is struggling. They struggle with some things. They're brilliant. This generation right now, I'm not talking about kids. I'm just talking about even those in their 30s, 40s, 20s, all of it. It's a brilliant time. People are even AI, all these things, people are brilliant. But I'm realizing that as brilliant as this generation is, we're also, I think, one of the greatest emotionally unstable generations of all time. It is the most, we get hurt over everything. We are so unstable in commitment. So here's the statement the person made. The statement the person made was, and I saw people sharing this. Like I saw leaders sharing this. I saw preachers sharing this. I saw like just people sharing it that I know, and I'm like, why? And they're agreeing with it, and I'm like, y'all, this statement is like half empty. It's like this ain't a good statement, y'all. And the statement was, when you don't feel loved, right? It's okay for you to make a human decision to say bye and move on. And when I saw that, I was like, like, okay. And the person that wrote it, I don't know them personally, but I've seen them. I've seen some of the things they've wrote. I've seen some of the things they've done like on video before. I don't really follow them, but I've seen little clippets. And the person is like, they're brilliant. They're very smart. They're very gifted. But that statement was semi-disturbing. And here's why. So that means every time I don't feel affection or I don't feel, because if I don't feel love, whatever happened to any area of commitment,
right?
Like there are days my son will feel like we don't love him.
True.
So he just gonna make a decision, be like, I'm leaving. Like that don't the statement, and like every time you feel I'm not loved in an environment, like I'm gonna use church. I'm gonna use it. So if I'm at a church and I don't feel like the leader doesn't love me, and not just don't love me the way I want to be loved, I'm gonna leave. Do you not know there was times when the disciples didn't feel loved by Jesus? Like they didn't always feel loved, especially when he had to rebuke them. Like rebuking doesn't always feel like love, based upon how emotionally stable the person is. Because if I'm emotionally stable, I understand a rebuke is for love. Because if I don't rebuke you, then I really don't love you. But because I don't feel love, I'm just gonna make a decision and leave. No, like there has to be understanding of commitment. Right? Like I've grown enough to know she loves me, vice versa, right? But there are days I don't feel the same maybe love directed. So I'm just gonna be like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm out of here for a couple of days. Like I'm out of here for a week. I need to feel love. Like I just the statement was so emotionally off.
Yeah.
And I think that this generation, as gifted as we are, I think we are so lopsided, and I think we don't understand the word of commitment in anything. It ain't even got to do with church. I'm talking about just any relationship, friendship. It could be your workplace. I don't feel like I'm loved here. I don't feel like they're concerned about the employees. No, sorry. The reality is they're concerned about their bottom line. That's number one. Then they'll get to you, right? And they may be concerned about your emotional state, but your emotional state is also connected to their bottom line. So they'll be concerned about your emotional state because they know if you're emotionally healthy, you'll hopefully be more enthused, which will help their bottom line. Right. So like I just you want to add anything?
No, I think that's a good point, because I think a lot of people like in this time just feel entitled and just feel like, oh, you know what, if I can't get it right here, I'm gonna go somewhere else, and like things are going to change. But the reality of it is, as many places as you go, if you're not content within yourself and you're always looking for that, because some people go places looking for that. So if you're always doing that, you're always going to feel that wherever you go. So because I know people that they'll go somewhere, and then it's like, oh, you know what?
True.
No, this ain't working for me. Let me try over there. Like the grass is greener on the others. Even in relationships and stuff, I've heard people say, oh, you know what? I don't want this. You know, I want, because you know that they want to be with somebody else. And the thing is, you don't know what that other person, like, you don't know the case. You just feel like, because you and yourself, you feel like, oh, you know what? I'm here. I'm entitled. I can get better. Or I can do better than what you have. And like, you might have like that. It makes me think about, is it the first one? Why Did I Get Married? When the guy had Jill Scott, and then he went with the other girl because she seemed, you know, you don't know what type of person that you're getting, especially when you have somebody that really loves you, or you're somewhere that really does love you, even if it's not expressed all the time. And I think that sometimes people just feel entitled, like that you're supposed to be this type of way, and they're always looking for more and more and more to kind of fill them, in a sense, compared to, actually sometimes it's a problem within you too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's some things that you have to look at, and you have to actually think about that sometimes everybody, like sometimes everything doesn't revolve around you. There are some days that, this might happen. There are some days that it might not. And there are some days that, somebody might come and hug you. There are some days that they might not, but you have to be okay and still know in yourself that still that person loves me. And it comes out to being able to communicate that.
Right.
Because sometimes people won't say, well, I don't know, if y'all really love me, or if you really feel like, if y'all appreciate me and stuff like that. Because I think people, that happens just often, as far as I think everybody goes through a time where you might not feel appreciated.
Correct.
Or you feel like you're being taken for granted.
Correct.
And stuff like that. But in those times, it's not for you just to be like, oh, you know what? I'm just done with this. No,
Yes.
in those times, it's for you to actually fight that and actually overcome that, to say, you know what, even though I'm feeling this way, I'm not going to let this take me somewhere that I'm not supposed to go.
Correct.
And I think that does happen a lot of times in churches, especially because of the fact that it's like, I feel like, especially when people start getting their heads full and that pride starts coming, and it's like, oh, well, I feel like I could do better now, and this, that, and the other. And you're going after something else, but you still haven't dealt with that thing. And guess what? That thing's going to come back and deal with you, whether you like it or not, until you're able to actually be mature enough to actually deal with it, and not just say, oh, bye, and I'm running away from everything. Because that's basically like running away from everything. So you're not actually facing anything to actually mature, because it's like, soon as something happens, bye, I'm done. No, you can't. How do you grow like that?
You know, it's wild. Like, I'll use this right for example. Like even right now, it's wild because I use like college sports, right? And I follow college sports. I have to follow college sports, not just from a perspective, but also just understanding, like, even like my high school kids, like trying to get them into college, like what level can they play at? Like, I've had conversations with college coaches, and the reality is, like, a lot of kids in college, like, they come in like entitled, because again, like I said, this generation is brilliant. But like, I thank God the time I was born, like I remember, like, I always talk about going out working with my dad or my grandfather. And when I worked, like, it wasn't like, no, you getting paid. Let's like, boy, you better be glad. I almost said something else. Boy, you better be glad you got a roof over your head.
Right,
you got
right.
clothes on your back. Like, we didn't even ask to get paid. It was like, unless I was working for somebody else, that's different. But just working with my grandfather or my uncle or my dad and them, it was like, nah, dog, like, you getting up and you working. Like, ain't no, I ain't going. Like, no,
Right.
wake up, you working. It's summer. Get up. I didn't feel entitled to get paid because, they're paying for my wrestling. They pay, like, and so it's wild when I was talking, like I said, for college, these college coaches, they're dealing with, for example, like kids that are transferring. Now, I'm all for that. I'm all for the kids getting money, because college sports, they're making so much money, and I love NIL. Nobody even know what the heck people that are on here right, probably don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. NILs, when these kids get paid to be able to play in college, right? And I'm all for that. I think that's great. But a lot of these kids, like, once they feel a sign of, like, I might get benched, it's like, I'm transferring. Or, I don't like the way this program feels, I'm transferring. It's like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, you made a commitment to that program. Now, if the coach leaves, leave. I understand that. Like, you made a commitment usually to that program because the coach is there. But like, even when it comes, and it's trickled down to high school, like, kids just be like, I'm going to transfer. Like, so it happens in college, but with college, like, it's just wild. Like, and the point I was going to bring was this guy named Arch Manning. Now, Arch Manning, he plays for the University of Texas, but Arch Manning is Peyton Manning and Eli Manning's nephew, right? Their dad, Cooper, is their third brother that a lot of people don't know about, but he's playing at Texas. He's in his second year at Texas. He's one of the best quarterbacks to ever come out of high school. But he's been a backup for the last 2 years because he's backing up a guy who's been there, and everybody on TV, everybody online be like, he needs to get out of there. He needs to go somewhere else. Now, Texas is a top 5 program, but he's like, he needs to get out of there. He needs to go transfer somewhere else. He's got too much talent. He don't need to be sitting there. And the thing is, he likes being there. He likes the commitment. Does he want to play? Sure. But he's growing, he's learning, and he's developing, but he's not starting. Next year, he will be the starter. But see, he has an old school form from where he comes from that I've committed to this program. I'm going to stay at this program, and he's still getting his NIL money. But the reality is, everybody like, you got to get out of there. You got to get. No, he has a commitment mindset to what he's doing and where he's at, and he's not allowing other people. It's a whole other thing to talk him out of what he's doing. So he loves it there. And I think like he doesn't even feel, and he can say, I don't feel the love because I ain't starting or I'm not playing.
Right.
Like, no, he committed there and he went there understanding that. And I think like this generation is scary to me because like once I don't feel what I want to feel, I'm done. Like once I don't feel like okay, I use marriage, right? And I just use it ain't gonna always be like I feel like this.
Right.
It's like no, you have to learn how to create that feeling. You have to learn how to develop certain things. You have to learn how to understand that comes in any level of relationship. That's the maturing factor of the relationship, right? You know, our kids. I use our kids. All of them have different. Like Dream still wants to be around us all the time, but our older ones don't want to be around us all the time. They love being around us. But they don't always be like in our room trying to knock on the door, come on, play games and all that. They got their own thing. They playing their own games. But Dream wants to play games with us. Why? But that changes through time. It doesn't mean I'm no longer their father. It doesn't mean she's no longer their mother. It doesn't mean that we're not committed to one another in our relationship with each other. But it evolves. And I think people don't have a commitment to evolve, even though the love is still there. It doesn't feel the same. Right? It doesn't feel the same, but it doesn't mean you're not loved. And just because the feel changes doesn't mean it's called maturing.
Yeah.
And so people walk out of maturity because once I don't feel love, I have the human right. You do have the human right, but it doesn't mean it is right. And that's the scary part because I think the person posted it saying you have a human right because they're trying to be brilliant. I understand they're being I don't think they were trying to say it is right, but I was scared about the people that were commenting, sharing, and commenting, and like, yeah, I'm like, and it's like it's almost like underneath it's creating more development of immaturity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anything else you want to say about that?
No, that was good.
Yeah. We live in a scary time, and that immaturity, like it's someone had brought up something the other day, like since people keep talking about certain things that are happening in the earth. About war and stuff like that. And I remember someone was like, man, listen, this is probably the worst time, most scary time for us to go to war, not just because of the weapons. Your hair's fine. Not because of the weapons.
It kept going to my face. So I was trying to move it back, but
the immaturity of the people that will be fighting. Like,
right.
It's scary. Like, it's almost like, are they developed emotionally? For what they're going to like, you know what I mean? I guess being in military, maybe they'll help develop it, but it's just a different time we live in.
It is. Touche.
Different time we living in. Yep. Oh, look at that picture.
Oh, Dream.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
This hair is just on my face. There we go.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just, you know how everything is opposite, so when I was trying to move it, you can't.
The way it looks on the camera.
Yeah.
I understood.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry.
Okay.
Is there any more noodles and stuff in there? Praise God.
Oh, there is.
Let me give God the glory.
Yes, Lord.
Let me give him the praise.
Excuse me.
Because I'm hungry.
Right.
So Hiya.
So that was that was your point from last week.
Yes. I'm praying for this generation. Honest to God, I really am. And I'm praying that we continue to develop and we continue to become and we continue to be just emotionally more stable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is not just a church thing, y'all. This is a society thing. This is a thing from everything. This is like, from school choice to people even dealing with their parents. Like I know people be like, I don't want to be like, I never thought in my wildest, like, I mean, there was a time when I got older, like, okay, I'm running away because I feel like I'm grown now. But I never thought like, I don't know, just like I'm not committed to my parents. I mean, like some kids, like they think, like for an example, here we go. I got a good one. Here we go. You ready for this? Like, I don't know all the situation, right? But like this whole thing now, like when people are like disowning their parents' last name, or picking their mom's last name, or picking nobody's last name, choosing their own last name because they feel like they're not committed, or their parents weren't committed to them, or any. I'm like, where are we going with this? That's what I'm saying. Like the emotional unstable. Like you wouldn't be here,
right?
Like I can understand if like you was in a and you was put in a shelter. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who had parents that were millionaires and they were just upset. Like this is one of the things that actually happened. Someone was upset and they had this whole coming out party that I'm changing my last name, and they were upset because their parents were like always around because their parents had to work all the time, but their parents are millionaires and they lived a spoiled millionaire life. I'm like, oh God, this emotionally unstable thing is like, it's really wild. It's wild.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you get into those kind of kids, a lot of times they be definitely feel like they're entitled anyway. Not to say other ones don't, but it's like, they used to what.
But brilliant. Smart as I know what.
Yeah, so
I'm saying like just the tech savvy,
the
the some of them book smart, some of them, but emotionally, it's just once I don't feel like I'm being cared for the way I think I should be, or I don't feel the same way, it's like
emotionally and
I'm
with
done.
identity is the same. Just like scrambled eggs.
Yeah, it's wild.
Crazy.
It's really, really wild. Like, yeah, I could say more. I was gonna leave it alone, leave it right there. I was gonna say more, but I was like, no, we don't. It's all right.
Yep, we're not gonna belabor the time.
We're gonna go ahead and enjoy the rest of our Saturday night. I'm gonna enjoy some college football and then get back to studying and praying that the Lord does a mighty thing tomorrow in the house.
Amen.
Aye, 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 aye.
And amen.
Aye, aye, aye. Praise the Lord. All right. 2 more weeks till Christmas break.
Yep. 2 more weeks.
Woo! I feel glory on that. I still got wrestling though. But it's still, I don't have to go to school, but
it's still something that you like doing, so don't.
Really... I do like doing it.
I mean, because you don't have to be there like all day. So
I mean, like, no, let me stop.
It's something that you like doing, so it makes it better. Like compared to having to go to work, like to go to school.
I agree, that's true. But I like doing it, but like it's wild. Like, so this is the thing, right? This is the last, I'm gonna say this and I'm done. I like coaching wrestling. I love the kids. I love the kids. But when everybody else is off of school, here go my emotional unstable part of commitment. I want to be off of school too. Like I want to be off of everything and wrestling practice and all that. So when everybody off from December the 20th till January the 2nd, I want to be off too. Like I don't want to be at practice. I don't want to go through the hallways of Sterling High School. But I'll be going through the hallways of Sterling High School every day except for 4 days out of the 12. So 8 out of the 12 days I'll be at Sterling High School. We have off practice on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve. I still may have practice early, and then New Year's Day we're definitely off. But that's what I'm saying. I still got to be up there, and of course I'm off on my Sundays, but Saturdays I'm up there. Right at 21st. I'm up there. We got a tournament on 21st. Long day. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. You got anything else you want to say? Final words about tonight?
Thank you guys for jumping on.
Thank you.
I know we got on a little bit earlier than normal.
Yeah, we did. We
tried to do 8 or 9.
Yeah, typically 9, but
typically 9, but we was like, let's do it a little bit earlier. See how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thanks for jumping on, and we will talk to you guys later.
All right, bless
Enjoy
y'all.
The rest of your night.
See y'all. Y'all take care. Thank y'all for joining us.
Oh.
Why are you yawning?
I felt a yawn of blessings.
Yawn of blessings? What's that about?
When I yawn, blessings come out.
That's what happened. I never heard that before. That's not actually what happens when you yawn. That's a new one.
Praises go up, blessings come down.
That's not in the Bible either.
I know that.
That's your sayings.
No, that's not my sayings. It's just what people say all the time.
I know, but well, not you sayings. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
The blessings come down.
Yep. This the stuff that. Ooh, my God! Penn State is they in trouble tonight.
My God.
Yeah, they in trouble tonight.
Bless them.